How you doing, folks? Welcome to another edition of DadBodBible, Real Men Talk, where I get to chat to guys that I find interesting, and hopefully you will too. Today, I've got this guy on who if I'm admit it, I've had a bit of a man crush on this guy for about a year and a half on Instagram. He throws kettlebells that I can't even lift about like they're nothing. So let me introduce you to Stephen Koontz. Stephen, how are you, mate? It's nice talking to you at long last.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing okay. A little nervous, a little excited.
Have you done a podcast before?
I have done one, and I think I just started talking about some random things, and I couldn't listen to it. I was too embarrassed what I revealed. So I'll probably do the same thing here.
That's
but we'll see what happens.
These podcasts start out as like talking about strength and training. The last one I've done ended up we're talking about ancient civilizations and the Unga Dryas, and so believe me, my mind's a crazy mind. It goes mad. So don't worry, we'll be going down some rabbit holes probably. But listen,
yeah.
for those people who don't know you, who are you? What do you do? And etc. Introduce yourself.
My name's Stephen, and I've been kettlebell training and strength training for about 10 to 12 years now, and I mainly focus with kind of like a hybrid version of like old strongman type training. So kettlebells, barbells, and kind of anything I can get my hands on, maces and clubs and yada yada.
Oh, do you do mace bells as well? Yeah, I'm a big mace bell fan myself.
Yeah.
Where about
I've been. So I'm from California. I was born and raised there, and then I moved to Chicago, Illinois, about 11 years ago, and so that's in the middle of the United States. So kind of like a hub of the Midwest.
So you moved from the Sunshine State over to windy Chicago.
Yeah. So I did that about 10, 11 years ago. I wanted to be a professor, and I studied history and philosophy, and I just wasn't that smart after college. So I just decided to move to the Midwest, and I was touring in a lot of different bands for about 10 years before that. So from about 16 to 26, I was touring in bands, and I came out here to just keep doing that. And then I didn't want to do that anymore either. So I just started exercising, and then I kind of fell in love with bodybuilding, and then I got into strength training. So.
Yeah, I actually, I've been following you for about a year and a half, but I only recently seen the photograph of your sort of transformation.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck me, that blew me away. I automatically, just because of the way you throw those kettlebells about, I automatically in my head thought you've been fit all your life, but you actually haven't. You've taken a fair amount of weight off you this last couple of years.
Yeah, so I've always struggled with my weight since I was a little kid. I can build muscle really quickly, which is cool, but I could also build fat really quickly, which sucks.
Sounds like me.
It's like, I'm in the fitness industry, and I've been training for 8 years now. And I tell my clients, I'm like a 2021 hybrid, like Toyota hybrid. I can't burn calories to save my life. And, and some people just have different metabolisms, and all my life, like I can just eat and eat and eat. I'm like one of those pit bulls that can't stop eating its food. You have to kind of regulate what we eat. Because I go to the all you can eat buffet place, and I usually get my money's worth times 2. So
you're barred from a few of them now, are you?
They have in Chicago here, they have like these all you can eat sushi places, and I'm definitely a quantity over quality guy. So that's kind of where I go and make my name. So,
I love sushi, but it's not very popular over in Ireland. But I do love sushi. It's great. It's probably one of my favorite ways of eating. So tell me, what was it made you decide to go from fat to fit?
Yeah, so I've always been pretty self-conscious about my body. All my life it just was like a thing. I skateboarded all my life, and I was the heavy guy skateboarding, and I was pretty good at it skateboarding. But I was just like, I just never felt like I always just felt like I'm always the big guy here. So just as a little kid, I just always like would fluctuate my weight trying to figure it out. Anywho, I would just try to exercise harder and eat what I want. And then one day I was at a football game, in American football. My favorite team is the Oakland Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders now.
I'm a 49ers fan.
Yeah, we would go to, you know, me and my lifelong buddies would go to a game once a year, and I found a pic. We were like outside the stadium, and I'm taking a picture, and I'm wearing a sweater with a jersey over it, and you could see my gut. And it was to the point where I was just like, what am I doing? Like this, like I got to start figuring this out. No, and I was 33, 34, and I was like, all right, like I'm in, like at this point, I got to start like eating better and like just like measuring what I'm eating, because I don't look good and I don't feel good. So I just started like slowly kind of like I just started like measuring my food, kind of like getting more and more into like nutrition and just kind of changing my lifestyle. And then one day it's just like all of a sudden, like, you know, the pandemic happened, and I just was like just kind of making videos and that's it. And then I go back to work after about 4 months, and everyone's like, what the fuck happened? And I look at the scale, and I lost about 60 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
And that was kind of, I mean, that's kind of what happened. You just kind of put your head down and start doing, you know, eating well, eating vegetables, eating fruits, measuring all your food.
And so tell me this, did your strength go down, or did you maintain that base level of strength that you were happy with?
Dude, so my strength kind of did go down. Like my pressing went down a little bit. I will say, like my overhead press for my barbell military press, I used to be able to do 315 times 5, and I can barely hit 230 now times 5, you know, with the overhead press. But other than that, like my bench is still there, my deadlift and my squat are still there.
What do you put in your deadlift?
And then my max deadlifts is like around 700, 705.
Jesus.
And then my max squats around 700. But I rarely ever do that. I just kind of just do the kettlebell stuff. So
yeah, that's what the reason I started following you, because you were one of those suggested to follow type of people, you know, like Instagram give you a hint, because I follow all the kettlebell heads, and
yeah,
I seen you doing, what the hell was it? It was something really stupidly impressive with 80 kilo kettlebell. It was overhead. I think it was a snatch or something. And then I started watching, you were spinning up and you were catching 48 kilo kettlebells in your arm, and you were dropping them and you were throwing them through your legs. And my goal in life is to press the 48 once. that's my goal in life. I want to be able to press the 48 once. And here's some dude just throwing them up and catching them the way I catch 16s. So it was like, I just thought to myself, how the fuck did you get yourself to that position? That's what I want to know, your secret, because it's impressive as hell.
you know, I don't know, man. I just kind of like, I get bored easily. And, you know, I wasn't like, I liked bodybuilding, but obviously I was really bad at the diet for so long. And, you know, like the powerlifting stuff was so like, it was such a cult out here, you know, like all of like the, I don't know, like a lot of like the musicians and stuff, they would get into powerlifting. And to me is like when bodybuilding got me into weightlifting, bodybuilding and powerlifting are just so different to me, you know, like it's kind of like go and bust your ass and like, you know, like till your heart breaks your ribs kind of thing. And then powerlifting, it's like do this and rest. And then one of the problems is like all the bodybuilders and powerlifters always seem to be injured, you know? Yeah. And so, and then I got into the fitness industry where I was like training people, and I don't know, you know, kind of being a former skateboarder and surfer all my life, it was like, well, what am I going to do next? Like, I just kind of started making tricks out of it. And then I learned how to flip the kettlebell. And then this is before I even knew about juggling. I mean, the best thing about Instagram is you could start really like opening a can of worms where you see a bunch of people doing weird stuff. And, you know, I never knew of kettlebell juggling. I just flipped the bell because it was like, it just seemed natural to me, you know? And then I started just coming up with my own tricks, being kind of bored. And then all of a sudden I opened the can where it's like all these, there's like a whole world of like kettlebell jugglers out of Russia, but they were doing it so much differently than me. So I just was like, well, you know, I'm not going to I didn't really feel the interest to flip a 16, 20 times. I'd rather flip a 48 and see what I can do with that. How many times. And
yeah,
again, it was just, that was kind of my goal.
Your strength is insane. It's properly insane. It frightens me. What's your most you've ever snatched?
I've double, like on a kettlebell that I've double arm snatched to 80. I never really tried the 92. You know, that guy Kettlebell Carl can snatch the 80 pretty easy. And so like, that's kind of my goal, but I think that dude's mitts are pretty like gnarly. compared to mine, you know? So
I've got a 1992 in my gym, and it's the greatest doorstop on the planet. Like, you cannot close a door no matter how hard you try when you've got the 92 there. But that's literally
you know
as far
what
as it
though?
goes.
You know what though? A lot of those kettlebells, so the thing is in the United States, like it's hard to find bigger kettlebells that aren't Kettlebell Kings or Rogue Fitness, and their handles are so big that it's hard to do any one-handed stuff. Like, you know, there's a gym by my house that has those competition bells at 48. I can do so much more with the 48 with those as opposed to like a hard style kettlebell 48.
Big time.
So,
I don't think a lot of people see if you're just if you're just if you're a normal kettlebell guy, just likes to swing a bit, whatever, you don't actually understand the difference. But like kettlebells are designed as a one-hand tool. They're not designed for two hands. And like,
yeah.
so, you know, and like even the 92, I struggle to get two hands in the 92 to swing it because like the handle's so small. But I'm a total agreement. I would be a competition bell head over training bells any day. You see
Any
them?
day.
Yeah.
I think there's no competition bells heavier than 48 that I've seen in the United States.
60s. You can get up to 60s.
Yeah, so I haven't seen them here. Again, like maybe if I open my in Chicago, I haven't seen them, and I know, and like I think if I like talk to Levi or even like Kettlebell Kings, you know, Levi SLR, or like like Joe. Like, I think that they probably get their hands on it, but here in Chicago, I haven't yet to see it. And like, I would really love a competition bell that's heavier than 48 because I feel like I could do more, you know. But that's like one of the harder things, you know. Like I see these Russian videos and it's so gnarly, dude. They're fucking doing they're like throwing so much heavy shit over their head, but they have like again that handle is like so much more forgiving on their hand than like these like giant like, you know, polar bear handles that like are hard to even grip.
You might as well use cheese graters sometimes. Them things are just like you just feel the flesh coming off your fingers, don't you? Like it's hard. When I traveled 16 and I'm cursing myself like fuck, I'm going fuck. When you don't land a 16, right? So I don't know what you're like. Have you had any mad injuries because of doing the kettlebell juggling?
So people ask me all the time, like, have you injured yourself? Like you have back or hip stuff or knee stuff? Like that's the thing is like, I'm 30, I just turned 36 and I've had 0 injuries. Knock on wood. I'm not saying that like, I can't get injured or I'm not going to get injured, but you know, I feel like I was telling a buddy, I was like, you know, I have no body injuries. I feel great all the time. I don't wake up sore. I don't have any body pain, you know. I feel better now at 36 than I did at 26.
That's brilliant.
You know, like it's like I hear about some other like people my age and they're like barely walking sometimes, and you know, I have no body pain, and I wonder if I do think it's hereditary, some of it, you know, but I think a lot of it too is just that straight up I do like wave the load but I always like practice my rotations, my Turkish get-ups, my bent presses. And I think that kind of says a lot to like the way my body moves, you know?
See, I'm a big believer. Like I can't bent press anymore. I've say this all the time, but I've got a hip replacement and need my other one replaced. So at the moment, bent pressing is gone for me. Any type of rotation where you have to hinge deep, deadlifting, I can't deadlift anymore. But if you can bent press, I think you're mad if you don't. I think bent press is the number one exercise. If there was one drill that I could only do the rest of my life, I think it would be bent press because of just the shoulder stability, the hinge pattern, the core strength you require, the shoulder strength you require, everything. It's hitting everything in one big move. And I don't understand why it's not popular anymore. Maybe it's because it's too hard.
Yeah, I think it might be too hard. And again, like there's a lot of there is a lot of risk, right? And some people might not see the reward, but I mean, I honestly, like I could be, you know, I could feel a little congested. You know, that's the best word. It's my body feel a little congested. I go in and I don't go lighter than a 48 for a bent press. So I'll just, you know, I'll do the bent press and my body will just feel like everything just opens.
So what is your go-to weight? Like what's your comfort weight? For me, like I will pick up a 30 kilo and I know that no matter what exercise it is, I'll be able to hit 30. I'll be able to do every exercise with 30 kilos. What would be your go-to weight then?
So this is going to sound really pompous, but like I don't go lighter than a 48 for a Turkish get up or a bent press. That's usually my warm up and like what I will go with. So I have like, I have a 56 and a 60 and a 68. I rarely go to those. So if I want to do like, oh, I'm going to go heavier with my bent press, I'll just do 2 bent presses or 3 bent presses in a row with the 48. Or like I'll do 2 or 3 get-ups with a 48 on each side in a row without putting it down. And that's kind of like, I just kind of like use that as if it's like, what's it like if it's like a baseline. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Have you ever tried GS?
No. So Levi and Joe are like my 2 internet best friends.
Levi's
at swing.
Levi's another guy that's just phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, so swing like Levi's Levi ASLR or something on Instagram, and then Joe is Swing That Kettlebell. They're both huge GS guys. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I have the mental fortitude to sit there to go past that distance to where I'm doing like backbreaking work with my heart beating out of my chest for 20 minutes. Like I just don't have that fortitude,
What about the pentathlon? I think you would excel at that.
I don't know, man. It just sounds too like gnarly for me.
It's only 7 minutes, 6 minutes, and then one kettlebell. And just like, so you've got one section would be swings, then the next one would be clean. Next one's clean and press. The next one's just a press, and then you've got a snatch. So you've got all different, like I think it's 6 minutes on, 6 minutes off. Constant, just one, and you can wave the weights. So you get more points. The heavier weight the bell you use, the more points you get per rep. And it's like a sort of like, so it's almost like mathematical where you have to work out, what's the best rep I can get? Can I get more reps going heavier, more points going heavier, or to go lighter and get more volume in, but knowing the overall volume is going to equate to more points. I think you would excel that because if you're going in with like a press with 48 kilo for 6 minutes, you're just plowing them out and you can switch hands as much as you want. Jeez, you'd flat it.
Yeah, I mean, you should send me the link to that. I actually sounds like a lot of fun. Could be, after we're done, you should send me that link and let me know how it goes. I mean, that's something that sounds kind of awesome.
I will do. A good friend of mine, Finbar, he's actually GS world champion. And he's going into pentathlon because he just said that the GS isn't worth it anymore. He's just getting too many injuries it's 10 minutes, like holding the 2 kettlebells in the rack position. Like I try to tell people, you go to a dark place in your soul. There's a place specially designed in your soul for doing GS, and you'll never go to other places. It's just hell. I don't know how Levi and all does it. It blows me away. How did you get to know Levi just through the Instagram world of kettlebells?
Yeah, man. So I started this Instagram like 4 years ago. Like one of my best friends who got me into as a personal trainer in the fitness industry, he was like, you should start making an Instagram and filming your workouts. And I was like, yeah, that's stupid. Why would I do that? He's like, no, trust me. I think you do a really good job. So then I started doing it. And then I like opened up this whole world where I started meeting new people. And again, it was awesome because I met someone like Levi and Joe. And then and then there's different philosophies out there. This guy, the Weck method guys, Chris and Dave Weck, you start meeting them, and then they start opening your eyes to like what you could do now. It's new. And they influenced me, and so that's kind of how I met all of them, was just through that stuff.
So the rack method, that's the coiling, that's usually so right. I'm glad you talked to me because I've been watching them, right, and one half of me's going, yeah, I could maybe see the potentials of that. The other half of me's going, that's just an Instagram gimmick, and I don't know whether. So you can actually verify that you think it's a good method?
I wish I knew more about it. I got certified in Weck method from Chris and Dave, and me and Levi actually went to the certification down in San Diego. It was incredible. Seriously? I wish I knew more. Like when you like learn something and you're like, God, like the more you know nothing at all. Yeah. Like I just was like, I just want to know more, and it's like almost like a transformation of your brain of like how to move. It's like taking the bent press and adding the same movements of the bent press to every single one of your workouts. Like learning how to like activate the lower lat to the mid lat to your hips and how to use it. And again, it's been monumental for not only my training, but how I train my clients.
Yeah, so you would implement it quite a lot in your clients' training as well now?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, especially like a lot of my clients who have like really tight hips where the lower back gets affected. I'm having them coil and doing different coil things all the time.
And so tell me, is the coil system, or is it a system, is like, is there different ways of putting feet, and is it all relation to like how you twist your body and coil your body in depending on where your feet are, or?
So they have a lot of they have a lot of dramatic like approaches to how you start the coil. So, and like, again, it would probably comes off a little like, I don't know, hyperbolic, but honestly, like, if like you said, it's like, oh, is this for Instagram or not? But like, you know, you watch that guy, Chris Savage Protocol, you watch his stuff, that dude's maybe a $130 wet naked, and he's doing 60 kg bent presses, no problem. So, you know, like he's probably the strongest guy I've ever seen pound for pound, and he implements the WEC method for everything. So back to your question, like, how do I have my clients do a lot of stuff? Well, the rope that they use, that rope, that's one of the things I have them do. And two, a lot of stuff that I have them do is just like, maybe just kind of twist their back where they're almost like kind of throwing their elbow into their hip to turn on their lats. And that's kind of what I'll have them do as well. So again, there's a lot of different methods that like go to attacking it, but like there's also very simple things that you can get your clients to do that really help activate just kind of that whole thing.
See, I was watching them doing the rope and the upper body rope stuff, and then I was like, fuck, I'd be interested in doing that to see what it's like. And then I looked at the price of the rope and I was like, what? For a rope? It's like, I went and made myself one I made myself one for like £6. You know, I bought like 10 meters rope for like £6 and just cut it.
That's all you need. You don't need to pay. I mean, and you know, they would tell you the same thing. You know, like it would. You just need the practice device. You know, and again, it's not really the weight of the rope that you're looking for, which does help if it's heavier. But you're looking for the movement and the coil of it.
So are they mainly a mobility coil, or would they be like functional movement, or what is their sort of method, or what is it? What is their?
I would say both. I mean, I think it's both. It's like kind of like approaching exercise a different way, whether it's with kettlebells, barbells, running, or even just like just functional movement, like learning how to use the momentum of the body together to work out in a more efficient manner, right? I don't think I didn't do the definition justice, but it's like making it's like making the bent press ballistic, and learning how to learning how to make how to make the bent press a ballistic movement to where, again, everything's kind of firing together. And like and again, it's all kind of stemming from like the lower lat to the mid lat.
Right. Okay. I get you. And so going back to you then, you started off saying you're in bodybuilding. Did you ever compete in powerlifting?
I've never competed in any kind of exercise thing.
No.
I just don't have, again, like I just don't. I'm not a competitive person, and I just don't. You know, I don't have the. I don't know. You know,
the drive or the want.
Yeah, like to put me on a program to go, oh, let's prep you out to like get your max deadlift. I just don't really have the.
So would you say your training philosophy is lift heavy, enjoy, and have fun?
Just have fun. You know, I don't like. I lift heavy, but I lift heavy. I'm sorry. I lift heavy, but I lift heavy where, you know, it's in my range. Nothing is to the point where I'm gonna, like, I feel like I'm gonna hurt myself. And if I feel it that day, I'm gonna go for it. If I don't feel it, I'm not gonna do it. You know.
So then I take it you would watch a lot of or you would study a lot of like Eugene Sando and Arthur Saxon, and would you be interested in those type of guys?
I love Sando, and I've read a lot of his stuff. But honestly, a lot of my foundation was like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I loved Mike Mentzer. Even though I don't like the training to failure idea, I just really enjoyed like these guys' different philosophy of like upper body, lower body splits, and you know, and like again waving the load of strength, like heavy upper body, lower light body, and just kind of just juggling that and really diversifying the exercises. You know, in powerlifting, they say you shouldn't diversify that much, right? So, yeah, I guess at Westside Barbell, they're like, well, you should always keep the same, but then like, you know, have your, but really accentuate your accessory work. And I love the accessory work. To me, that's so fun. So
So what would you, so then take me through an average training session for you, because all I ever get to see is the actual videos of you doing the cool shit. But
so like today I was, I'm a little tired. So today I did bench press. I did like a 15, 12, 10, 8, 6 bench press mixed with some heavy dumbbell rows where I go about 15 to 20 rows with a 120-pound bell. And then I'll do about 10 pull-ups, right? And I'll do that like 5 to 6 sets of that. And I'll go maybe to 315, 325 bench press. And then I'll go over to the cable machine and I'll do like some, again, I like pyramid sets, like 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, increasing the weight. That's a classic Arnold Schwarzenegger, Frank Zane type approach. And I always superset. So if I do one chest, I'll do 2 backs, right? And so then that was all day. I just did all upper body. Then I would end it with some, like, I'd just maybe do 100 snatches or, like I'll do 100 swings on the minute. 100 swings for about 10 minutes where you do 10 swings on the minute. And depending how I feel, it's either 48, 60, 68, whenever I feel like it.
So you do 100 snatches with 48?
Yeah, I could do. It depends on the day. I really like the 40. Like my goal about 4 or 5 years ago is I wanted to make the 48 feel like a 24, because because the Strong First and RKC, their goal was 24 should be your working weight.
Have you done RKC or Strong First?
Yeah, I did the Strong First 1 and Strong First 2 and the Strong First body weight.
So what were your opinions?
Yeah, they really opened my eyes to a lot of different exercises. I thought it was great what they did. I think the dogma that they kind of throw out there is a little pedestrian. And to be honest with you, I think it limits like what people can do. I have no problem saying this to like a Pavel or whatever, or whoever they want to fucking gargle. But I'm just going to tell you, I just think I think the bases are great, but Simple and Sinister is a warm up. And I don't know why that's so glorified. The Beast Tamer, I've done that with 60. It's to me, it's just it just doesn't I feel like they glorify pedestrians. It sounds so pompous, dude.
No,
but they glorify.
I'm glad you said this. I agree with you. I agree 100. I was like a big believer in Strong First and Pavel. I have to thank Pavel because of he got me into where I am today. And Dan John's still a very good friend of mine, and because of going to the search. But at the same time, I think it's there's just a bit of bullshit there, isn't there? It's the Russian fucking comrade and the camo khakis and it's just bullshit, I suppose it's a marketing tool and it works, but I think Pavel's a bit of a liar as well, to be honest. I don't believe he's a master of sports. There's not too many people that I know in the game have said to me he is bullshit, he's been caught out lying. And that sort of upset me a wee bit, because I've realized that I wasted so many years believing this guy. And then I was like, fuck you.
So I'm not going to comment on what you just said about Pavel. Again, I'm agreeing with you on everything else. But I've also talked to a lot of people, and it's none of my fucking business. So that's kind of what I said. I will say this though. I've never talked to Dan John, and he has no idea who I am. But I think some of the shit Dan John puts out there is absolute trash. He was saying that you should not do a heavy Turkish getup because it's the juice ain't worth the squeeze, pretty much. And if you can't do a perfect Turkish getup slow and focused, then it's not worthwhile. And I think he's absolutely wrong. I think he's completely wrong. And
elaborate. Tell me why you think he's completely wrong.
I think he's completely wrong because everyone moves differently. And just because you can't do something in a very strict time manner doesn't mean that it's not going to be beneficial, right? Not everything is going to be so perfectly angled by the book. I am under this weight and moving at a very unique pace. Sometimes when I'm going to a 48 kg and I'm tired, I'm going to slide my arm a little bit and not go to my elbow. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because my hips don't go to a perfect 90-degree angle and the bell's under me, it's 48 kg. It's not going to be perfect. And that's okay. This dogma of perfect movement, it's not an Olympic sport. It's not like we're sitting here and taking notches out because something is losing style points. You know, that's like
Yeah.
one of the best things about skateboarding is that, like, you know, some guy can do a 360 flip and it looks totally different than the other guy's 360 flip. It doesn't make it harder or better. It just makes it different.
Just makes it
And
worse.
so, you know, and again, I'm only talking about one specific thing he said. And it really, like, I remember talking with Levi and Joe about it. Like, I was like, he's completely wrong. Like, I know the guy's credited and claimed, and he's actually, like, I've never read his books, but he's obviously a very smart dude. But I just think take an approach where it's like, if you can't do a perfect get up, you shouldn't be going heavy. Is this like complete? It's a shitty take.
Well, I can see your point of view, and I can see Dan's point of view. For me, I think with strength training, and it's like you're almost trying to make the heaviest weight you can lift look as easy as possible. And I think with Dan's philosophy, he's talking about, you know, owning the movement. And if you can't own a move with a 24, don't go near a 28. You need to own the movement with the weight. So I get where he's coming from, but I also, at the same time, there's part of me going your direction as well. It's like, weight you can't expect perfect movement all the time. That's like a sort of fantasy almost. But yeah, I think there's in between what you think and what he thinks. There's like that Goldilocks zone. And I think as long as you know you're under control, and that if the weight's heavy enough to make you challenged, but not heavy enough that if you lose it at any point, that you haven't got the ability to get yourself back into a safe position, then I think go for it. I think with Dan, I think he's thinking more along the lines of, like, I'm 43, coming 44 in July, and the guys I'm training, they're overweight, they're heavy, they're in their 40s and 50s. If I give them a heavy weight and I ask them to do it, the chances are they're going to damage themselves. So I get where you're coming from, but I also get where Dan's coming from. I think it's a trainer's sort of, you've got to find your own principles, your own philosophy, and just and know that that you understand why you're doing it. And as long as you do that, I think it's
sure. And again, I've been training for 8 years. I think he's probably training way longer than I have, but I've been training for 8 years, and, like, you know, not every one of my clients is going to be doing a 48 kg get up, you know, like, but I have no problem progressing somebody that's not doing a perfect get up. You know, it's like, sometimes that you have to, when the bell's under your head, you have to do it right, you know?
Sometimes putting them into a weight that actually focuses them to go on, because sometimes if you get 16 kilo, I'll do it, no problem. You're not really thinking about it. But if you go, okay, we're going to go to 32, they're like, what? They're going to focus. And if they're focusing, they're going to stress.
And again, you know, I'm not, like, obviously, like, it's very selfish. I never want my clients to hurt themselves, because if they hurt themselves, I no longer get paid, can pay my mortgage, right? So, like, but I also really care about my clients. And in the end, it's like, if I don't feel like they can't bail out from the bell, then I wouldn't give it to them, or I can't help them, I wouldn't give it to them. But, you know, my heaviest get up, I failed 15 times with the barbell, and I threw it down and I felt fine. And then one day I did it, and I did it all the way up, all the way down. It was ugly as shit, but, you know, like, it was my max. It was great.
Oh, tell me, what was it?
225.
What's that in kilos?
Like 96, 97.
Oh, fuck you.
So
I was a barbell.
Barbell, yeah.
Fuck. I done a 56 kilo barbell, and I swear to God, like, I thought, see, afterwards, I'd have taken on fucking any MMA fighter on the planet. I felt this is a hard man. You've just destroyed that. Thank you.
It doesn't matter, man. It's it's just all relative.
Yeah, it is. No, you're 100%. When did you start getting into heavy kettlebell lifting then?
You know, honestly, like, it kind of came in, like, it kind of, like, I got into kettlebells through my buddy who got me into training. And then I did Strong First, and, you know, I saw that them doing the beast tamer stuff, and I was just like, that doesn't seem like, it just seemed easy. So then that's when I was like, I'm going to make the 48 feel like a 24. And I just only worked with the 48. So, and then like that Simple and Sinister book came out, and it was like, you should train like this to get like this. And I just tried it, and I was like, this is really easy. And so then I did it 2 times in a row, and I'm like, this is really boring. And then, so
I don't like the minimalist idea, you know, like 2 minutes. It, the marketing behind it's great, but the reality is it's not going to produce the results. Like doing swings and get up is not going to produce the results of doing swings, get ups, pull ups, bent press, fucking bent over row. You know, when you add in more exercises, you're going to get more results. The end of I don't. I think Strong First have in a sort of in an attempt to market themselves as like this elite thing, have actually done themselves damage in a way. I'm not in agreement anymore with Strong First. I was a big Strong First fan, but I can see a lot of flaws in their coaching methods. That's just my personal opinion. And
yeah, I'm not shitting on him. You know, I think I agree with you. It's like you know what? Like I've had like a coming to terms with all of it. Like again, like I've never read a Dan John book. I think Dan John is he's obviously praised for the right reasons. And you know, like I just think it's just not my cup of tea. You know, it was a good base for me. It was a good foundation for me, but like I'm just not gonna like I'm not a cookie cutter dude, you know?
yeah,
And so I don't like I think it's great what they promote, and it absolutely changed my life for like how I like exercise, but I just felt a little limited through it. So I just started going heavier. And then I kind of, for a while, I was a little insecure about it. I'm like, oh, dude, what am I doing? Am I doing it wrong? Like, this is stupid. Then I just was like, you know what? This is how I exercise, and I'm okay with it.
the way I say, like it's fine for me to turn around and tell you, oh, you know, your Turkish get up isn't great, or you know, you need to improve that. But if you're shifting more weight than me, well, I have no fucking right to tell you you're doing something wrong because you're doing something more than I can do. You know, and think that that's the reality. I think a lot of the Strong First coaches, it's like, no, you're doing it wrong, comrade. And you're like, no, you're not. You're doing it right because you're fucking lifting more than me and you're stronger than me. So that means maybe I should learn a bit from you. But you're talking about bodybuilding, so I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
I think you're still a big bodybuilding fan.
I used to be a huge bodybuilding fan. I mean, when I first got into exercise and lifting, I was like 23, 24. And I just was fascinated by all the classic bodybuilders and their philosophy. And it was very intrinsic for them. And I kind of fucked with that. I liked how it was such an emotional thing for them. And so that's kind of what happened.
So what do you think of the modern day bodybuilder compared to like the Arnie generation?
I got no opinion on it. You know, it's just not for me. I don't really, you know, like I can't do it. I can't put the time and dedication that they put into it, you know?
No, I mean is in like if you're into the bodybuilding and like the Zane era and the Arnie era, what do you think of the Phil Heaths like and the Dorian Yates? Do you think they've went too far to the left or fucking too far to the right type of thing? You know, like it's the symmetry's gone. It's just all about mass now.
Yeah, I mean, just like anything, it was kind of just overdone a little bit, and it's fun. You know, again, like I'm not as interested in it as like I'm not as impressed with what I'm seeing now than like what I read about or see back then. I'm not saying it's not impressive. Like, you know, Kai Green now is one of my favorite bodybuilders current day, and he's just awesome. You know,
I like how he thinks. He's very philosophical and very deep thinker, so he is. But
yeah.
I don't think he would fucking stand a chance against Arnie Schwarzenegger, to be honest. Or
I don't either. I mean, those guys had like such a unique statue look where it was like a perfect body, you know?
It was beautiful.
Like, I would take, you know, the Hulk, what's his name? It's escaping me right now. I take the Hulk TV shows from back then I would like the Phil Heath winning Olympias now, you know?
I think for me, Frank Zane was one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. Just he was so small, and how he just was able to go pump and just poof, like in seconds he doubled in size. Just that symmetry was it was beautiful to look at. And then all of a sudden, the whole idea of Sando was, you know, like what was it, bicep, calf, and neck all evenly symmetry with inches and all different. Like, but now it's just like, let's see how big we can fucking get.
Yeah.
Personally, I think we just need to go back to the Arnie days and just make it attractive again. But that's,
Well, one of the things, let's intertwine all this. One of the things I really like about Strong First, RKC, and that philosophy, it's all about being healthy, about like moving better and feeling better.
yes,
And like your workout should give you more than it takes from you. I think that like Pavel, Dan John, and all those things could all say the same thing about that. Arnold Schwarzenegger, all those bodybuilders back in the 70s and 80s would all say the same thing. Your workout you should be able to exercise and then go and do whatever you want to do the rest of the day. A lot of these other, like a lot of these current bodybuilders, that's their focus. They go and they annihilate themselves in the gym where they can't, they can't move. They're so sore and it feels so good and they love the way it feels, but they can't, they've given all their blood, sweat, and tears in the gym. And to me, like, that's not what I'm looking for. Like I like to be energized. My workout gives me more than it takes from me. Right. So
that's a great philosophy to have.
And that's very Frank Zane, right? Like Frank Zane is like that's a Zen of Zane. Like you should be able to just like, you should look as good as you feel. And again, that's a very Strong First RKC thing, like you should be able to go move up 13 stairs of a condo or an apartment or a flat if you're able to after you exercise,
So tell me what I think of Ronnie Coleman then.
Oh, dude. So again, like, beautiful body, great funny story, but the dude can barely walk.
I know, fucking heart. It broke my heart to see that. Ronnie Coleman was like, Jesus Christ, I turned gay for that man. It was such a fucking ride. About his body was just phenomenal. His physique, everything, his strength. Like he was a power lifter in a bodybuilder's body, and I was just like, but I take it you've watched the documentary then.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was heartbreaking. I mean, again, that guy's one of the strongest bodybuilders we've ever seen, if not the strongest. And he did everything we wanted to do. I mean, his max was my rep. I mean, my max is his rep, And it's just like,
it's the in that documentary. See, I was torn because in one way it was heartbreaking to see like a childhood hero so like broken, but in a way I was still so inspired that even in crutches, even if he can barely walk, he goes to the gym every fucking day. There's no excuses. There's no feeling sorry for yourself. He doesn't care that he's taking so many pills every day. He just literally goes and he does what he has to do to keep himself. And even with his top off, fuck, he's still ripped to the tech. Like he's still in phenomenal shape. It just shows you when your mindset is strong and your focus is so intense that you can do whatever you want. You can, no matter what your body's like, you can still got the ability. Whether it's good for him or not is a different story. But that focus and strength of mind is something that I have to admire from him.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it's also the death of him, right? Like, I mean, I read that he was a creature. I mean, you have to be a creature of habit, but I remember him reading a thing in, I don't know, a Muscle Mag or something, and it was like he built his own gym at home where his whole living room was just weight machines, and he would only like to work out at night. So he would work out at night and sleep till like 11 or 12, and it's just, again, it's just, that was his focus,
The other thing I think is see the likes of Arnie Schwarzenegger, Dorian Yates, fucking Ronnie Coleman, they're not normal human beings. And whereas the likes of us, have you got any children? Have you any kids? Have you any children?
No kids. No. Well, like, no one likes me enough.
Well, like, I've got 2 young daughters, and for me, my legacy will probably end when their children are grown up. So hopefully I'll see their children and they'll be a granda. But when their children have children, I'll be dead. My history's gone. I think the likes of Ronnie Coleman, Arnie Schwarzenegger, they've got a different mindset. It's about the generational legacy almost. They're never going to die. Eugene Sandow, over 100 years later, we still talk about him in the strength world as like normal. Arnie's going to be the same. Ronnie Coleman's going to be the same. Yes, their life may not have lived the way they wanted it, but they've set themselves down in history as the pioneers, shall we say, of the sport, or the peak, the pinnacle of the sports. And through that, they're never going to die. I do like the way their mindset works and that type of thing. It's almost like they're so beyond normal humans.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why we want to achieve them.
I mean, again, that's the Achilles complex, right? Like they don't need the comfort of their own selfish life. They want to, like, they'd rather live on. And again, they will be talked. I will not be talked about. They will be talked about, and it's awesome. You know, Eugene Sandoz bench press is what, 270 pounds.
It's not
Um,
frightening.
and again, like he was maybe 30 pounds lighter than me when he did that. It's like,
And you
it's
know something? Like Arthur Saxon, like he used to press two full-grown men every single night in a basket. That was his thing. So that was like that. That's the equivalent of you making a 48 your bitch. He was making two fully grown men his bitch in
yeah,
the weight category. Like, so what was he truly capable of? Fuck, no one's ever going to know, because them days they didn't record it. It wasn't done for Instagram back in them days. It was
yeah.
literally done because of the love of the sport. And that brings me into a nice topic. What do you think of Instagram and the effect it's having on the fitness industry?
I absolutely love it. You know, people shit on it. I think it's awesome. I think it's been such a good tool where I get to meet people. It's been like, again, like I would never have met you right here talking to you. You know, I think it's such a good avenue, a good way to meet people. Um, to like, it creates a community that's kind of like unique. It's you know, growing up, I was really involved in like in music, and we used to do letters and tape trading and patch trading and flyer trading and stuff. And it was through snail mail, but like you created a really good community. Instagram, it's like heightened, where it's like not only do you create a community, we can talk every day. You know, um, I love it. And I know some people take advantage of it where it's like, oh, buy these programs and, you know, copy me doing this, copy doing that. Like that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Um, I think that if you use it for the right tools, I mean, it's such a great educational piece. There's so many things I've learned and discovered off there that I never thought I could. And it's really opened my mind for all this cool shit.
I like your philosophy. You're a very positive person. So it doesn't seem like much gets you down. You just seem to be like very positive no matter what. It's a nice way to be.
Well, no, I listen. I hate being alive. I just figured if I hate being alive, I can try to have fun while doing it. You know, but no, but for real, you know, like you're in Ireland, I'm in Chicago, and like how the hell would you have ever like seen what I do? You know, like not that I need your affirmation, but like, dude, this is like, you know, like we are now developing a friendship here. It's like, you know, I see guys in Russia doing some of the gnarliest shit, and it's like I would never have seen that anywhere else.
You
It
see, I
wasn't for
agree with you on
Instagram.
that point. I do agree with that aspect that for me, social media is a tool. Unfortunately for me, social media sometimes becomes the dictator of my life. You know,
Mhm.
I'm the type of guy, you know what meme? I will argue about anything with anyone. That's me.
Mhm.
I love to debate. I just love a good argument. I don't even care if I'm right. I don't Sometimes I will argue with people, even though I don't agree with what I'm arguing against them. It just simply because I want to argue. That's the type. If you tell me something's black, I'll go, I'm gonna say it's white just because I want to have a debate here about it.
Sure.
Because I do believe that um conversation is the way forward to help people solve problems. And sadly, I think social media is now we're limiting that. You know, unless you have a certain narrative, you can't actually have a worthwhile conversation anymore, which I think is the negative part. But the positive part of social media is, like you said, you're able to meet people that you would never meet. You're able to pull inspiration from people. Like for me, when I started doing strong first, 24 kilos, 100 reps, I was like the boom, Mac Daddy. I done 100 reps of 24 kilos in 5 minutes. I'm a legend. And then you see someone from GS doing that as a warm up, and you're like, fuck me, how am I? So it brought you back to the earth a thump, but it gives you that inspiration. Now, then, when I was doing GS, I can remember doing the snatch test with one hand switch as a warm up for my actual snatch workout. And I can remember thinking back, going, how the fuck did I ever think that the snatch test was like the pinnacle of kettlebell movement? But it was through social media that allowed me to get exposed to all this sort of. So I agree with you. Yeah, social media is definitely, it can be a tool that can be used properly. It's a positive influence.
I think it's great. You know, it keeps me down to earth. Like, you know, it's funny you said about my first snatch test. I barely passed it, and I was like couldn't even breathe. My hands were hurting. You know, like And I was like such a huge, like, I can't believe I did this. It was the hardest thing I ever did. And now it's a warm up to me. And I go on social media and you see you see so much gnarly shit. It's like, yeah, like it shows me how insignificant I am. And in the end, like, just have fun. It's like, just enjoy it. Like, it's just, if someone hates on you, then call them a dork and a nerd and move on.
Do you find that you get a lot of people reaching out to you because of your strength feats?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much people reach out to me more than someone like you or someone else, but I get a lot of people hitting me up. Everyone asks me the same question. Do you just use kettlebells? Do you just use barbells? It's like, I use everything, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, what do you want from me?
Well, I liked your video. You give me an idea the other day, actually, because you had one of your videos, you were doing a bench press, you were just lowering one side down, then the other side down. And I was like, fuck, I would never actually thought of doing that. That's actually a really smart thing to do in a way, just, yeah, it plays about, makes fun, and it sets another challenge, but it's also making that chest pump the fuck.
Yeah, I walked away feeling like I was like ready for a bodybuilding show,
So, what weight were you using? What weight were you using that rep?
That was 225.
That's 100 kilo. It's 100 kilo, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. That's what my Turkish get up is. So.
Oh, geez, you make me feel shit sometimes.
You shouldn't, though. It doesn't matter. Like,
I'm only joking. I was going like, fuck that, might as well. So would you be a more upper body or lower body dude?
Oh, lower.
Lower?
Yeah, it's upper body's funner, but lower body's like my strength is. So.
You done an 80 kilo pistol squat, wasn't it? You were playing that for fun.
I did 80 kg pistol. It was my heaviest, and that was like very few times where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I did it. That was the thing. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I did it.
That was impressive. Like, well, the other thing I like about you is you put in your mistakes. Your failures. I love that because like that's the one thing I hear about Instagram. And Facebook, it is one of the things. We can portray the image of the life we live easily. We can make people believe you're actually pretty raw and pretty honest on it. You just, if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. And I like that because I think it actually makes people realize that you didn't just get this naturally. You have to work at it. You've had to put the effort in. You've had to put the time in and the dedication in to get to that point. And I like that. But you also, there was one I was watching you. What was it you were doing? You were doing a combination. I think it was like 56 kilo or 60 kilo. You done like a snatch, they bent press, they fucking clean, they spin. And I was like looking at you going, fuck, I was just like, do one of them.
Some of those tricks, like I walk away being like, I'm so tired. And I'm just done. like that'll be my workout for the day.
Would you actually just listen to your body, and sometimes you set out and I plan with the workout and then go, no, too tired, and leave it?
Yeah, it depends. But I ultimately always listen to my body. I do work out every day. I do exercise every day, 7 days a week. One day will be yoga or something, or like light Turkish get-ups, But I always listen to my body. But like, yeah, sometimes like I have a 12-hour day and I got 30 minutes. I'll just do that and it'll be done. And it's my it's my exercise.
How are you finding the whole training people with COVID over in America? What's it like? Is it an eye opener for you?
I was really lucky. So there's not many kettlebell trainers here in Chicago. There's a handful, but there's not many. I predicted that like 10% of trainers were going to succeed post-COVID, and I was wrong. Only about 5%. I did really, really well. I was lucky. Most of my clients, if not all of my clients, are trained efficiently in kettlebells. So I had a whole gym full of kettlebells that I would have them rent from me, and we would do online. And because they understood the cueing and how to do stuff, we would do it online. And then I would take all my kettlebells. I had a hammer and a tire and like a TRX. I went to a park. I set up on the corner of a park, and I had people just coming through that I would charge them like $50, and we would just do an hour session in the park. And I would do that all day. So I was really lucky that I was able to do all that.
And what have the restrictions been like over there? Have you found it that it's changed fitness over there completely?
Yeah, I mean, we have to wear masks in our gym. We have to wear masks anywhere you go inside, which is like, you know what? It's so stupid, but listen, it's the rules. And I have a lot of people saying like, "Oh, your mask is stupid. What are you doing?" Like, listen, it's not a political statement. It's what I have to wear. Like it's just like it's the rule here. I think that it hasn't really changed the landscape of fitness and the idea of that like more people are getting more into fitness or they're out of fitness. I think people just use it as an excuse to not be lifting or exercising as much because people don't like it.
Have you not noticed like an increase in interest in online training?
Sure, I think a lot of people are trying to like make a buck by trying to sell programs and stuff or like again doing online stuff. But I mean, my business has pretty much stayed the same, if not grown, since COVID. But I think it's just because my clients were ready for COVID and exercising in their house with a kettlebell, you know.
So I think that's actually, to be honest, it's funny. I've said there's the people who are like reliant on barbell training. I think they're the ones going to suffer most because if you're into like bodyweight training or kettlebells, you don't need that. You just need a set of rings or you need like a kettlebell and you've got yourself a gym. Personally, I believe if you got a kettlebell and a set of gymnastic rings, you've got yourself a fully functional gym in the house. You don't need anything else.
Yeah, I didn't even realize how prepared I was for a COVID shutdown by being kettlebell efficient, you know? And so, and all my clients, like I was just really lucky that like, that's what I focused on.
And what about bodyweight training? Would you be focused on an awful lot of that, would you? Or is that just
Yeah, I like bodyweight training, like strong. I did the SFB, the Strong First Bodyweight. All that shit's awesome. I just, like I'm not good at it. If you're not good at something, are you really gonna do it a lot? You know, like do I really need to like learn a dragon pole or whatever? Like I don't know. I can do I can do a one arm, one leg push up. They're awesome. Whatever. Do I practice it? No, but I don't know. Like I do pull ups, I guess.
You don't need to. The way I turn and say this, if I was someone like you, if someone's doing shit like that, I'm just going to pick up big heavy kettlebell and start throwing it about like a toy. And then just mic drop, that's it done. You can't complain.
Yeah, like I'm not a gymnast. I don't look like a gymnast and I've never been a gymnast. And a lot of the bodyweight stuff just seems like for gymnasts, which again, it's great, has a fucking awesome place. But like, why would that's not my strength. Why would I play to like something that's not really my strength?
Well, here, you said to me you're an American football fan, you're an Oakland Raiders. How have you found like COVID affecting that over there?
Oh man, it was terrible. It was like you didn't know which week if your players were going to play, if your team was going to play, This COVID shit has been terrible. I mean, I don't like outside of like all the stuff that's happening, like life is just completely uprooted from sports to my own work. I mean, for the first 3 months of when COVID hit here, you couldn't go to the grocery store and try to find food that you're going to eat. It felt like, I mean, I wasn't starving, but definitely wasn't as like cozy as like just going to the store and buying an onion,
Serious?
So it was rough over here, but I think it was just a high overreaction, just kind of like everything. So
yeah, I'm a big 49ers fan. So
fuck, are you serious?
Yeah. So I actually, do you know how I got into the 49ers? When I was, what age? I think it was 6 or 7, and the replay of the Miami Dolphins 49ers final Super Bowl was on. And my dad was a big Redskins fan at this point. And so I just got into American football back in 1983 or something. And I just started watching the 49ers, and Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, long into that. I was just like, shit, come on. I had Joe Montana and Jerry Rice as the best fucking quarterback and receiver on the planet at that point. I'm a 6-year-old kid. If we want to get into American football, I'm going to watch the team that has that players like him on it. So since then and listen, it done me good because up until I was like 14 or something, the 49ers were the best team about. And then we just got shit.
That like we're that's like our geographic enemies. It's like Man City versus Manchester, right? It's like I I hate the 49ers.
Yeah, is that because the Raiders are shit?
We are terrible. This is terrible.
It was, yeah. I think the COVID thing sort of abrupted a lot of people's normal everyday living, and that's a sad point about it. You know, I don't think we realized just how much we enjoyed life beforehand. But I think it's a good wake up call. I think if people can maybe now realize, you know, what's truly important for our lives, and not to take things as fucking matter of factly, shall we say?
Yeah, yeah. I went to a restaurant last night. My birthday was last week, and so one of my clients took me out to a dinner, and he looked at me and said, "Can you believe that we're at a restaurant right now?" And it's true. It's like, yeah, you're right. Like I live by a movie theater. I pass by the movie theater. I'm like, I just hope it opens soon. I want to go see a movie. You know,
Yeah.
like I want to go sit in a movie theater and watch a movie.
We're at the moment we're in a heavy lockdown, so my gym's closed, all bars are shut, all hotels are shut, all shops are shut. You're only allowed to have like, you know, essential shops open, like supermarkets. Apart from that, everything else is closed. And it does, like, you start going, fuck me. We broke the rules. We were going to see a friend last week, and we went to see friends last week, and I felt weird. Do you know, actually just sitting in a house with someone chatting to them, and you're like, this is mad that we feel mad, we feel like rebels because we're doing this.
It's like it's against the law to just be next to somebody, and it's so stupid. You know, you watch TV and you're like, wow, like they're like, wear their mask. You know, you start like it's like almost like a predisposition, like where how you're thinking. You know,
I'm saying that I'm exempt, so I haven't worn a mask yet, and I don't intend to either. I believe that I like being a rebel because I breathe fresh air. It's like, woo, I'm a rebel.
So that's why it's funny. You know, my Chicago was it was a big hub for a lot of the protests, the American protests that were going on here in June, and there's also like especially my neighborhood is very much like very like liberal, which is I'm a liberal person, but you know, everyone is constantly like, if you're outside with no mask, you're getting shit on. And again, I'm not gonna walk my dog while I wear a mask. It's outside. Like the chances of catching it are slim to none. And I understand the importance of wearing a mask inside and what we need to do to protect other people, like especially the elderly. But ultimately, like, I don't like, I'm not gonna like a lot of shit's like theater at this point. You know, I don't need to wear two masks. I don't need to wear a mask when I'm walking my fucking dog down the street in like next to the lake. Like I'm not going to hurt anybody. It's fine.
I think it's actually sad that people are so scared and they've been so conditioned to fear so much that they can't actually engage with human interaction. And I think that's actually the saddest point, because like we're having a conversation, and through conversation you learn things about people and you make new friends and you get new opportunities. And I think that's being removed, and we don't actually realize that. You know, the art of conversation and the natural want to actually converse with other people, it's what being human is.
Yeah, I mean,
that saddens me.
Yeah, I hope within 6 months that people get over this, like this fear. It's like hyperbolic fear, but I mean, I don't know, you know. And again, who am I? Like, it's not my business. I'm just gonna keep doing me, and I'll respect people's spaces, but I'm not gonna wear a mask outside because somebody feels unsafe because they could potentially catch something. You know, that's crazy.
You have to be able to live your life. We
Yeah.
we have to live. There's no point in existing. We need to be able to live, or else what's the point in actually being here? Do you know?
So here's the dramatic thing to say is that, like, you know, someone asked me, like, don't you care about other people's health? And honestly, I don't. I don't give a shit about somebody's health.
Well, fair penny for saying that. I am in total agreement. Like, it's not that I don't care about other people's health, but it's like I care about my life. I care about my life.
I make a living caring about other people's health. So unless you pay me, I don't give a shit about your fucking health. Like, do I care if somebody's eating McDonald's? Or like, well, I don't know what the fast food there is, but like, do I care if someone's eating fast food and treating their body like shit? Like, no.
I find actually that's very. I think people need to look at themselves, and I see if you're like obese and you're screaming at someone for not looking after for not concerning their health, but yet They're obese, guzzling down a gallon of fucking Coke and fucking 3 Big Macs.
Yeah.
They don't care about their health, and it's just their way of virtue signaling because they feel shit about themselves. And I think that's when we need to have a reality, like a real conversation. And this is again is where we've lost the ability to have this conversation. Listen, dude, you're 17 stone overweight. I think the worst thing the COVID's the last thing you need to worry about. I think worry about heart disease, diabetes, heart attacks, strokes. You need to be more concerned about that shit. And that's what we need to. But we can't have that conversation anymore. That's the problem. You're fattest, or you're fucking sexist, or you're fucking racist, or you're somethingist. Oh, if I can't talk to you, but if we can't talk like that, then how can we get to a solution?
Yeah, exactly. And again, I don't like. I'm not going to go and like hurt anybody, but like, and I will wear the mask inside. But like, dude, I don't care about like I'm not going to walk in the middle of the street to avoid getting the common cold from somebody. You know, again, I'm not saying COVID's a common cold, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
I know, but you know something? There'll be someone out there will bitch about it, and that's the problem. We're in a world where no matter what you say, you're going to offend someone. And it's a sad place to be, because then if all we're doing is we're at each other's throats, we're never going to get to the point where we can actually come to a solution or listen to the other person's side of point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's dangerous. I think that's where, well, not sadly, I think that's where we've got to in this world, where we're just like we're allowed to virtue signal, we're allowed to scream, and I don't know. That's it. Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I'm just getting old and wiser, and just realizing that there's more important shit in the world to worry about.
Yeah, again, there's more like I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and you know, if you don't like it, I get it. I get in line, I guess. You know?
Stephen, I think you're right. Well, listen, mate, we'll leave it there. That was a good hour, mate. I'm glad actually talking to you, because like now I can actually put a personality to the face behind the guy I'm watching and fucking going, oh, I wish I could do that. In a non-creepy way, okay?
Hey, I actually had a really good time. You should reach out anytime. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Stephen, I appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. And I'll let you know when it's going up, and sure, I'll send you over the link. And
cool.
Keep doing your cowbell shit, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
Good luck, bye.